Opera Essence, 100% freshly squeezed opera juice, is an opera a colori podcast, giving you everything you need to know to help you enjoy the world's finest operas. In this episode, we explore the plot of Tosca by Giacomo Puccini. Act 1. It is the 14th of June, 1800, and the church of Sant'Andrea della Valle in Rome appears empty. All of a sudden, a terrified man runs in looking for sanctuary. His name is Cesare Angelotti, a revolutionary and consul of the suppressed Roman Republic who has just escaped from the prison of Castel Sant'Angelo. The man recovers a key hidden by his sister behind the statue of the Madonna and slips into the Attavanti side chapel. The church verger enters the church, complaining of the mess left by the painter Mario Cavaradossi. His mutterings are interrupted by the prayers of the Angelus. Cavaradossi arrives to begin his work. The verger immediately notices a resemblance between the image of Maddalena that Cavaradossi is painting and a mysterious lady who has been seen visiting the church regularly to pray. The artist takes the occasion to confirm these observations, stating that while painting the striking blue eyes of his Maddalena, he has always thought of the woman he is in love with and her splendid dark eyes. The opera singer, Floria Tosca. Once the verger has left, Angelotti comes out of hiding and makes himself known to Cavaradossi. He is able to reveal his identity just in time before he hears a voice calling for Mario. It's Tosca. Her arrival hastily sends Angelotti back into hiding within the chapel. The woman is there to arrange a meeting time with Mario for that same evening, but her jealousy makes her suspect something is awry. On seeing the canvas, she recognizes the resemblance of the lady Attavanti and erupts into a scene of jealousy, but Mario soon calms her down. Once she is tranquil, Tosca leaves the church, allowing Angelotti to come out again, and he continues his story to Cavaradossi, telling him that he has organized his escape with the help of his sister, the lady Attavanti, who has left him a key and a change of clothes in the chapel. Mario sympathizes with the revolutionary and proposes to help him in his escape by offering him his villa outside of Rome as a hiding place. There, in the case of danger, is a secret hiding place inside the well in the garden. Cannon fire announces that the escape has been discovered, and in their haste, both men exit the church, while the verger re-enters, euphorically announcing that Napoleon has been defeated at Marengo. He invites the church choir to prepare to sing a Te Deum as a hymn of thanks. The chaos that follows the defeat at Marengo is swiftly halted by the entrance of Baron Scarpia, the chief of police. The crowds disperse as Scarpia detains the verger and demands he answers his questions about the prisoner who has just escaped from Castel Sant'Angelo and could be in the church. The intimidated verger protests he knows nothing. However, after a quick inspection by his search party, they suspect that Angelotti has been to the church to find help and was aided by Cavaradossi. The verger runs away while Tosca enters the church in search of Mario. The Baron, who has always lusted after Tosca, insinuates that Mario is being unfaithful to her with Attavanti, and then, once she leaves, he has her followed to exploit her infamous jealousy. As the Te Deum is about to begin, Scarpia declares his real objective: to condemn Cavaradossi to death, and at the same time, possess Tosca by force. The chanting interrupts the sacrilegious plotting of the Baron, who, pleased with his abuse of power, smugly joins in the prayer. Act 2. In Palazzo Farnese, Scarpia can already savour the prospect of forcing Tosca to yield to his desires, revealing that he gets his thrills only by attaining what he wants by force. The henchman, Spoletta, tells him that he has followed Tosca to a villa on the outskirts of the city. There, however, he found no trace of Angelotti, but has discovered Cavaradossi, who he has put under arrest. Scarpia welcomes this news and calls for the painter, commanding him to reveal the hiding place of the runaway. Cavaradossi repeatedly denies knowing anything, and Scarpia orders for him to be tortured, while from the open window, the voices of Tosca and the choir are heard rehearsing. Once the cantata is finished, Tosca enters Scarpia's rooms, where he invites her to confess all she knows. Tosca resists the Baron's pressure, but when she hears Mario's screams as he is being tortured, she reveals that Angelotti can be found in a well in the garden. As soon as the artist comes into the room, an announcement disrupts the proceedings. Napoleon, believed to have been defeated at Marengo, has in fact won, and now the Austrian army is on the run. Mario is thrilled by this news, and Scarpia orders he be put to death. Once Cavaradossi has been taken away, Scarpia leads Tosca to believe that he is willing to pardon him in exchange for intimacy with her. She is revolted by this proposal, but decides to concede after a heartfelt moment of prayer. Scarpia explains that, so as not to attract suspicion, it is necessary to simulate the execution and gives the order to load the rifles with blanks. Then, at Tosca's request, he writes a safe conduct letter, allowing their escape from Rome. Having completed this transaction, the Baron pounces on Tosca, but she has armed herself with a knife and stabs her tormentor, who dies, suffocated in his own blood. Tosca stares at the cadaver of the most powerful man in Rome, takes the safe passage note, and places 2 candlesticks and a cross next to the Baron, as if to give him up to the judgment of God. Then she leaves. Act 3. Light begins to creep over the courtyard of Castel Sant'Angelo, where everything is now ready for execution, while the morning song of a shepherd can be heard in the distance. A jailer approaches Cavaradossi, who asks permission to write a last letter to Tosca, and recalls the first meetings he had with the woman. Suddenly, Tosca bursts into the courtyard, runs to Mario, and tells him what has happened. To escape the embrace demanded by the Baron in exchange for pardon, she herself did not hesitate to kill him. Tosca then also explains that the execution is simulated. On hearing the shots from the rifles, he will have to throw himself on the ground and wait for her to come back and give him the signal to flee. The 2 lovers just have time to exchange promises of future love as the firing squad suddenly enter. The soldiers fire, and Mario falls to the ground. The soldiers leave, and Tosca quickly approaches the man lying on the ground, calling him several times. Mario does not answer, nor can he. He is Scarpia's latest victim, who, in reality, had not ordered the execution to be simulated. The soldiers now hear that Scarpia's dead body has been discovered, and the cry goes out for Tosca's capture. Despair gives way to anger. Tosca climbs up to the parapet of the terrace, and after cursing Scarpia to damnation, throws herself into the void. Now you're familiar with the storyline, why don't you listen to our 5 Fun Facts podcast to find out more interesting features surrounding this opera? And now the house lights are dimmed, it's time to enjoy the show. Opera Essence, 100% freshly squeezed opera juice, is an opera a colori production. This episode was written by Tommaso Quanilli, produced by Selena Bellomi and Ivo Rizzi, and presented by Felicity Murphy. Follow